And it's time now for us to discuss holistic well-being of a woman during Ramadan. And to Assalamu alaikum, Shaista, can you hear me?
Yes, walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you? Can
I'm
you hear
well,
me?
thanks for asking. And how are you? Yes.
See, alhamdulillah, I'm well, thank you.
All right. So the topic for this morning, of course, holistic well-being of a woman during Ramadan. But of course, before I let you get straight into it, uh, for the listeners, let me just introduce Shaista to you. So Shaista Token has always had an immense passion for people and their holistic well-being. She's also a founder of workshop facilitation and is a transformation activist. After having graduated with a business degree and working in a corporate environment, Shaista's true calling was always in educating, where she felt she could assist in positively impacting young minds. She has also taught at both secondary and tertiary institutions for over a decade and holds three tertiary qualifications herself in different fields of interest. Being a school counselor inspired her to then become an internationally credited NLP life coach and certified relationship coach, which extended her reach rather to assist more than just her learners. As a workshop facilitator, she develops and upskills in to become positively contributing members of society. Shaista is a woman with great diversity, all linking back to supporting people through their life's journey. She's an inspirational speaker and producer of her own radio show, Inspired Loving, dedicated to making a positive impact. Shaista is most passionate about contributing to the upliftment of communities and spearhead a women empowerment platform called Wiser, Women in Social and Economic Reformation, which is invested in social responsibility initiatives. Ever transforming from themselves and embracing new experiences, Shaista is a published author and has also written articles for various publications on personal growth. She is currently enjoying being creative and discovering herself through her column for a local newspaper. That's quite a bit, Sister Shaista. And
I was just saying
it's
that.
quite an honor to have you on show this morning.
Jazakallah so much. I'm actually in your city today.
Mark, the last part.
I'm in Durban. In your city today.
Oh wow! I hope you are enjoying the weather because for the past week it hasn't been too good. It's been
Alhamdulillah,
a
it's
bit
been a good
overcast
few
and stuff.
days though, eh?
Hmm. Yeah, so I hope you are enjoying the weather and stuff like that. So let's get straight into it now. Holistic well-being. For many of us who might not have heard of this, what exactly is holistic well-being? Before we get into it, to start discussing holistic well-being of a woman, in particular during Ramadan.
So holistic well-being is not just about your physical well-being, which we are so used to taking care of and taking cognizance of. It's also about your mental and emotional well-being, which forms the three-sphere factor of your entire wholeness, which is yourself as an individual. You're made up of mind, body, and soul, as they say. And this has got to do with your physical, your emotion, your mental aspects, and how you're actually dealing on a day-to-day in terms of being positive and being stable in your functioning as an individual.
And of course, with the lockdown and the pandemic, mental health has been something that many have been discussing and trying to raise awareness about. So, just how severely has the pandemic, impacted people in terms of their holistic well-being?
So look, in terms of the physical aspect, I think a lot of us have just been a lot inactive as compared to our day-to-day and our routines and, with having the gyms closed. So a lot of people struggled in that aspect to try and recreate that environment at home. And then we had the situation of the emotion and the mental challenges, which affected people because of the cabin fever, of being isolated from their social environments. But then a lot of them as well on their relationships, the pressure that would seem to have placed on people in their relationships, be it as parents or spouses or even just siblings. So I think being in this pandemic, in that situation of where we were affected because our world has basically turned on its head, in the sense that we were not able to just go out and deal in a more, an easier way of extracting ourselves from our environment. Here we were actually staying in these environments, and the challenges were escalating. And then to find these little outlets of these breaks from our routine on the day-to-day, that became quite challenging for people. And I think what we have done is we've navigated a new way of living and a new style of thinking. But also, I think it's taught us a lot about ourselves as individuals. It's taught us patience. It's taught us resilience. And that's been really great.
Yeah, and of course we have like just about a week remaining until Ramadan. So could you just speak to us about a little bit about holistic well-being of a woman in particular during Ramadan?
So I'm a speaker at the Ramadan Summit tomorrow. At 10:30 is my slot till 11:30. And the holistic wellness of a woman in particular is my chosen topic, because we've got a range of topics. And I think pre-Ramadan, the woman has a lot of preparations and a lot of anxiety approaching Ramadan. Now, in Ramadan itself, how do I better prepare them to understand that the many roles that we juggle as women affects us in various ways, because we tend to strain ourselves in the different roles that we play. So when I'm discussing the holistic well-being of a woman, I'm actually trying to remove that guilt complex on not trying to overperform, overachieve, overplease, because as a nurturer, that's what you're ultimately doing. You're trying to satisfy the needs of those around you. But then also, I think, take the factors of mental health and peace into consideration, of not stretching yourself too thin, but also trying to maximize on the benefit of what Ramadan has to offer. It's really just about getting back to the basics and not putting ourselves into the stereotypical roles of what we need to do, as opposed to what we want to do and how best it's going to actually affect us going forward. Setting this new precedent of women just understanding that there's very little that we need to actually give off in terms of service, but more we need to actually reconnect and just, with our Creator, and then just embrace Ramadan and enjoy the peace and contentment that comes along with it.
Hmm. And it's interesting that you touched a bit on the stereotypical roles, and I think many a time it's expected of a woman to prepare very quite a bit of preparation is expected ahead of Ramadan, and then during Ramadan as well, a lot is expected of a woman, and understandably, I mean, one would have to understand. That during Ramadan, it is a time for reconnection, spiritual reconnection, and it's a time to slow down and realize the connection that we have spiritually. And
Definitely, I
unfortunately,
think
many a
we
time
do
was not
distract
expected to
from
be.
that. I agree, because we
Yeah.
distract from the
Mm.
entire wholesomeness of what Ramadan is supposed to be. And because of the community and societies in which we live in, there's been a traditional role of, and I can take a silly example like just savory making months in advance and stocking up freezers
Mm.
and, that type of thing, which is so outdated. Because if you really think about it, women are now working. So those types of pressures are really, it should not be placed on those type of women that are juggling these careers as well as their homes. And I think it is a very cultural thing. It's got nothing to do with our Islamic advent, because Islam teaches us that, we need to be remembering our Creator in this time. We need to have a spiritual reconnect. Nowhere does it say satisfy your hunger to the extent of having such lavish and extravagant meals. So I think we need to also understand our religion in order to understand our duties. That's ideally what I would like to talk about tomorrow.
Mhm. And of course, it is great that people are now speaking about this. And of course, we hope that there will be an impact. And quickly before we wrap up, um, do you think these awareness campaigns and speaking about it, is it having an impact? Is it helping our women to realize that they don't actually they aren't, they don't have to overdo themselves and exert themselves in preparation, in terms of, just as you mentioned, savories and, these stereotypical roles. So are we
Look,
having an impact with the discussions that are being had?
sure, definitely. And I think especially when it's to the caliber of exposure to people that you don't generally associate yourself with, such as these life coaches, abundance of knowledge and experience, whom you'll normally pay to go to see. Now you're getting these platforms of free events, free webinars, not only the Ramadan Summit, but you get YouTube videos and things. And I think the next generation, who are much more tech savvy, are exposed to it much more, and they're learning much more. They are growing and evolving. And if you look at the next generation of women, they're much more liberated. They're thinkers. They are performing in a different caliber of what life should be. And I think throughout COVID, what we've learned is that quality over quantity any day. Relationships are getting healthier because people are recognizing themselves as individuals. And I think definitely this type of platform of where we are speaking, even if it helps one person, that one person is having a ripple effect in their own children and their own communities. And eventually it will affect everybody to a certain extent. So I think it's a wonderful gesture that we are getting to speak and we're getting invited to these platforms. And inshallah, I think we're trying our best. So whoever it's meant to reach will be reached, and the message will get across.
So just in terms of finalizing this discussion, how can the public, access what you're going to be speaking about, your address? How can they hear it?
So the simplest way is to go to my Instagram or my Facebook. It's @Shaista_Token, and you will find the link to register for the free International Ramadan Summit. We are 7 speakers on various topics, and the easiest thing there would either be to WhatsApp me if you don't get through, or to send me an email. All the details are on my social media. So it's @Shaista_Token. Alternatively, my phone number is 072-565-1265. And this is just a wealth of information that you're opening yourself up to.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, and do enjoy your stay in Durban.
Jazakallah so much. It was great chatting to you.
Indeed, it was a pleasure having you on air this morning. So that was Sister Shaista_Token speaking about the International Ramadan Summit, which is expected to take place tomorrow, and she will be one of 7 speakers at the event. It's a free virtual event, so she will be discussing holistic well-being of a woman during Ramadan, and also in preparation for Ramadan. And she's just been speaking to us for the last few minutes with regards to the various holistic well-being issues and stuff related to that. And highlighting the stereotypes which are generally associated with women, the expectations, and then speaking about prioritizing the spiritual connection during Ramadan. And of course that's going to be really interesting. And if you do want to participate, of course you can go find her on Instagram, and then you can certainly find the details at Shaista_Token on Instagram, and you can find the details there. Of course, if you'd like to participate in the International Ramadan Summit, which happens tomorrow. So we take a nasheed break and an ad break before the news at 10 a.m. Please do stay.
My Lord, show me right from wrong.
Huda SA is an organization that focuses primarily on assisting communities within the eThekwini region, by collaborating with existing Islamic centers, mosques and madrasas. Your contribution goes towards the uplifting of orphans and vulnerable children, including vulnerable families, by assisting with education, welfare, nutrition and maintenance of madrasas, mosques and Islamic community centers. Make the difference. Donate to our noble causes. More information is available at huda-int.org, or WhatsApp or call us on 031 271 3049.
My Lord, show me right from wrong. Give me light, make me strong. I know the road is long.
Looking to get your kick? Kiki's have now reopened on 235 Matthews Maiwa Road in Durban. Head on over for the Taste with Kick. We offer something scrumptious for everyone in the family. Wraps, chicken tikka, burgers, tender grills, mocktails, milkshakes, and so much more. Corporate and events catering available. Visit our social media pages for more info or call 031 209 0119. Kiki's, the Taste with Kick.
Enduran Boys College is an independent boarding and day school situated on the N1 highway in Polokwane. We encourage intellectual and emotional development through a holistic learning environment. We follow the NCS CAPS curriculum and house boys from grade 6 to 12. We have boarding facilities also available from grade 6 to 12. Enduran Colleges aspires towards being a premier institution of learning by offering quality and value-based education that aims to serve humanity. Enduran College is safe haven and a home away from home. It's registered with the Department of Education and Umalusi accredited. For more information, contact us on 078 452 6264. Or follow us on Facebook or Instagram, or email us on polokwane@endurancolleges.co.za.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Africa.
The Nikah announcement list is brought to you by the Africa Muslims Agency. Sponsor a water well for 14,500 rands or a borehole for 49,500 rands as a means of barakah. Africa Muslims Agency.co.za.
It's a new beginning. It's a new era. Salam Media, humanitarian journalism.
والإكرام يا إلهي فاعف عني واهدني ولا تتركني يا إلهي أنت ربي ذو الجلال والإكرام يا إلهي فاعف عني واهدني ولا تتركني يا إلهي أنت ربي خلقتني من تراب وأنا على عهدك ووعدك أدعو إليك في كل حال أبوء بنعمتك علي أبوء بذنبي فارحم علي اغفر لي يا رب لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت يا إلهي أنت ربي ذو الجلال.
Ya Ilahi by Ishaq Ayub. That's the nasheed you've been listening to. And of course, that brings us to 57 minutes past 9 a.m. Central African time. Of course, there's 3 minutes remaining until the end of the show. And so we'll just wrap up with regards to what we have been discussing for the last 2 hours. Of course, I have been in your company since 8 a.m. this morning on Salam Media as well as Radio Al Ansar. So we discussed the national shutdown, which have been planned by certain factions in ANC. And of course, this is according to reports by the city press. And these are certain are a cause for concern, of course, and it points to a larger problem within the ANC with regards to factions. And as a political analyst and professor at the Northwest University, Professor Andre Duganacha, was explaining, he says there could be blood on the floor because of this, this whole fight between Ace Magashule and President Cyril Ramaphosa and the various factions within the ANC party. So that's going to be interesting to watch and how that unfolds, as well as how that will impact the African National Congress. And then we also discussed the Institute for Security Studies. Well, the Media Review Network, in fact, has called on the Institute